Light language is a life story around how we not only communicate with each other, but how our bodies and our minds and our beings communicate with the world around us, and how we can express ourselves and how we can speak without speaking, how we can hear without knowing exactly what we're listening to, how we can step into this version of ourselves where we are flowing through what we are speaking and we're serving as this channel for communication. And what this looks like is different for each person, and we're going to go through a story today about how light language is present in my life and how I can share what that experience is like for me within my being and how I experience light language through my being. So I spent the day working with my dad clearing out this old tree, and we worked together through cutting up these pieces, pulling these old branches out, pulling out which pieces are firewood, which pieces we need to toss into the tractor, and clearing out not only these big pieces, but these little pieces of debris, and pulling and just finding anything that we can to move through, not exactly knowing like I need to go straight for this piece, I need to do this right now, then this, then this, then this. Like in conversation, when we're thinking like, okay, what does this mean? How do I communicate with this person? How do I express this idea to this person the way that I want it to be understood? Instead, what we do is to move through this just intuitively knowing that I need to move. And as I move, this path becomes more clear. This space around me becomes more clear. And as that happens, what needs attention next, what needs to happen next, naturally happens next, because we've opened up that space to do that, to see that, to have that presented to us. And naturally, all is sorted out. We have a stack of firewood. We have a cleared space where this fallen tree in pieces and pieces and pieces once was. And we've hauled it away, and we found a space to put those pieces. We found a space to put the firewood. We found space beneath the rubble. We've found clearing, and we've created something new. We've created a clear space, and all of this was done without much verbal communication. All of this was done simply by seeing and feeling what needs to be done and doing that something. And then the natural progression of this, of course, is to take those pieces, either dispose of the ones that need to be disposed of, and to take the pieces that can be repurposed and used as firewood and make those into firewood. And so cutting up these pieces, pulling out the tools that we need. And none of this is a thought. None of this is like, oh man, like I really need to do this right now. It's a movement. It's a flow. It's a going through and knowing that, okay, I feel like I'm in a place where what I want to happen is happening. And okay, I'm going to shift gears into prepping this wood up, getting this chopped, getting this ready, stacking this up, organizing this all ready where it needs to go. And again, this once was a pile of wood and pieces and big pieces and small pieces and all the pieces to use for firewood, and now becomes this neatly stacked arrangement of usable size pieces for the fire this winter. Again, just intuitively thinking like, I know I've held as an intention that I'm going to need wood for the winter. I know that the space is going to need to be cleared. And stepping into that, you see that the space becomes cleared, the wood becomes created, the other space where it's been dumped into a pile becomes cleared because that intention is held. Well, light language is like that. Light language is that communication that because you hold that intention of, I want to feel this emotion, I want to feel in this state, I want to give love and acceptance, I want to create an environment that just vibrates positivity. And as you do that, as you call that in, that comes out, and that is vibrated, and that comes through to the other person without saying, I want this, I'm creating this, I'm doing this. That naturally is going through to the other person who is receiving that energy. And as the other person receives that energy, there's not this like, I know that I'm receiving this, I know that I'm feeling this, I know this. But there is a knowing. There's a knowing that can't be placed into words like we know in any language. And that knowing, that feeling is within our body. And while that may come with sounds, it may come with expression, it doesn't always. And that's not the point. The point isn't what is said, it's how it's said, and how you feel, and how the other person feels, and that energetic connection between those two people. And that is communication through light language. And that is communication without speech, without knowing. That is communication at its rawest level that we can't yet define with language that we know as of right now. And that is light language.